to Bookish.Taylor. I am Taylor, and today I'm here to bring you my January book haul. Some of these are from a used bookstore. I took in some of my books that I had unhauled and traded them in. One was ordered for the boyfriend. One was ordered because I needed it. One was a book outlet order, and the others were impulse buys at Target. Gonna start off with the one that the boyfriend ordered me. I think this was the first one I received. It is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. This is book 2 in the Arc of Scythe trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Yeah, this is the second book. I can't get too much into it, but I know it takes about 3 months after Scythe takes place, and I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna end up getting to this sometime this year. I also hope that I'm gonna be buddy reading this with Amanda and April, who I buddy read Scythe with. So the next 3 are the ones that I picked up at Target. I had a bad day. Went to Target, made myself feel better by buying books. The first one I picked up is Everlist by Sarah Holland. I don't really know much about this. I know that it involves alchemy and sorcery. 2 of my buzzwords right there are alchemy and sorcery. And I believe it's also a patriarchy. It's gonna speak to me, and I needed it. It's also an incredibly gorgeous cover. The next one that I picked up is going to be Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. This is the final book that I needed to complete all of Leigh Bardugo's published work. I now own them all, and I'm really excited. Leigh Bardugo is one of my favorite authors. I love her, and I'm really excited. All I know is that I think it follows Diana in her teenage years, but I'm not 100% sure. Similar to that one, I also picked up Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. This is also a signed copy, which is the whole reason I picked it up. It was the last one, and I'm really glad I picked it up. This follows Bruce in his teenage years, and that's all I know. Next up is the book that I picked up for myself, and that is In the End. This is book 2 in the After duology by Demetria Lunetta. I just read In the After for the second time. It was my throwback Thursday for January. Upon finishing that, I realized I desperately needed the second book. So next up, I picked up 6 books for trade. First one is going to be The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This, I believe, takes place around World War II in Germany or France. I don't know. German-occupied, war-torn France. So it's gonna break my heart. It's gonna make me cry. Andi read this book. Not my Andi, but an Andi on BookTube. I will have her link down below. Read this book, and she really, really enjoyed it. Seems really interesting. I'm trying to get myself into more historical fiction, and I feel like this is a good place to start because I'm really interested by World War II. Next up, I picked up Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. I believe this is the first book in a YA trilogy that he has. It's The Reckoners. I don't really know anything about it. I just know it was Brandon Sanderson, and the last paperback I picked up is Forbidden by Larry James and Ryan James. I believe it has something to do with angels, but that's all I know. I Hunt Killers by Barry Lyga. His dad is a serial killer, I think, and he's been in jail. To prove that murder doesn't run in the family, he joins the police hunt for a new serial killer. How cool is this? Like, how cool is this naked book? I don't always buy books because they look good naked. The next book I picked up is What We Saw by Aaron Hartzler. I think it involves date rape. A girl named Stacy has passed out at a party. Something involving her appears online the next morning, and she doesn't remember what's happened. So it should be relatively interesting. It's a really short read. I look forward to picking this up one day. And the last book that I picked up was super interesting and like rare find, and that's Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This is a Peter Pan retelling. The only reason I know about this book is because Julie from Pages and Pens read it, and I think she liked it, or she thought it was decent. I think it was around 2nd of January. It was relatively early in the month. I placed an order with Book Outlet. There are 7 books. One is a complete trilogy. One is by an author that I absolutely love. One is the start of a series. One is the second book in a series, and then I think one's a standalone. So the first one I picked up is The Valiant by Leslie Livingston. This involves princess and gladiators, and I think this is going to be a buddy read coming up in March. I'm really excited. Some kind of trilogy. I don't know what it's called. I'll put it over here. And that is The Jewel, White Rose, and Black Key. I saw the entire trilogy on Book Outlet, and I was like, give me. So The Jewel, White Rose, Black Key, which would have to be my favorite. I'm really excited to get in and finish this trilogy. because it's a dystopian and that's really all I know. Next up is going to be Fever 1793 by Lori Halse Anderson. I love Lori Halse Anderson. I can't talk enough about her. She writes such heart-wrenching stories, and this is one of the few that I think this is either the last one or one of the last few that I don't own by her. I think it's a historical fiction. Fever spreads from the docks and creeps towards Maddie's home, threatening everything she holds dear. Maddie is apparently the main character. She is ambitious, adventurous, and sick to death of listening to her mother. Next up, I picked up Avenged by Amy Tintera. I know that this is the second book and that it involves patriarchy and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I'm really excited to read it. I think the third one comes out later this year, but I do plan on reading the first two before then. And then the last book that I picked up from Book Outlet is Midnight at the Electric by Jodi Lynn Anderson. I don't really know what it's about. I think it involves some kind of disappearance. While their stories span thousands of miles and multiple generations, Lenore, Catherine, and Adri's fates are intertwined in ways both heartbreaking and hopeful. Signature haunting novel, a generational novel. It should be interesting. This is the same author as who wrote Tiger Lily, so I don't know, it should be interesting. For someone who's on a book buying ban, I didn't do very well. I also picked up Gunslinger Girl. Until I get back from Florida, I'm not buying any books. I'm going to Florida either in March or April, so I'm on a buy ban until then. 19 books that I have acquired this month. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!
I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Boyfriend, I'm sorry. I know.